Scott Hallock is our fourth inductee, and he is the founder and president of LikeMineDid Media. Scott has a long history in television production, including co-creating and executive producing Syfy series Scare Tactics and NBC's How We Do It with Howie Mandel. A Murrow College graduate with a degree in broadcasting, Scott has created and written numerous television shows. His contributions to the entertainment and media industry have earned him national recognition. Please join me in watching this video tribute to Scott.
My name's Scott Hallock. I'm originally from Tumwater, Washington. Went to Washington State University, graduated in 1991, and I now live in Southern California as an executive producer, writer, and creator of television shows. The number one experience I had at WSU that made me kind of what I am today is working on our television show Live at 8. We did a live half-hour sketch comedy show where the students did everything. I got involved as soon as I got to WSU as a freshman on Live at 8, and started out as a writer-performer, worked my way up to head writer and then producer. And in the time that I was there at WSU, I was involved in, I think, over 120 different episodes of Live at 8 from freshman year to senior year. I think I'm most proud of starting a production company over 20 years ago, selling a show that I co-created, and that show's still running today, and my production company is still going strong. And the really gratifying thing about that show is that there are people I had no idea were fans are huge fans. Like, I'm working with Jordan Peele right now, who's an Oscar winner. So to have Jordan Peele come up to me and say, I love your show, and I need to thank you for the hours of entertainment it's provided me, is unbelievable.
Scott has really done a great job and been a great ambassador for us in the Southern California market. A lot of graduates leave Washington State and want to pursue something down in the Hollywood, Southern California area, and Scott has really been a great source of either information and sometimes jobs as they break into that industry.
There is a passion and a work ethic from WSU grads that you just don't see from a lot of other places. And so I recognize that in other Cougs, and that's why I really do strive to hire WSU grads whenever I can.
It would be very difficult to name a Coug who's moved to Los Angeles within the past 20 years who did not work on a Scott Hallock show. I can say for me, 3 weeks into living in Los Angeles, like the only thing keeping me going is, basically the little bit of student loans that I still had in my bank account. If Scott had not taken a chance on me, I don't think that I would have this life in Los Angeles and this career that I'm really proud of. And I think that you could say that about probably hundreds of other Cougs who have moved to Los Angeles. Scott, congrats on getting this award. I feel like of all the WSU folks down in Los Angeles, you deserve it. Also, thank you for letting me eat half of your lunch that one time in my job interview to be your assistant. Yeah, you're the best. You deserve this more than anybody I could think of, and congrats, man.
I don't do the kind of shows that get awards, so I've never won an Emmy, I've never won anything for my shows, and so to be recognized by the school I love, that was such a big part of my professional upbringing, was just, I was blown away. If you've got a dream, if you've got a passion, if you're good at what you do, you can do this. When I was at WSU in the early 90s, I was not aware it was an option to move to Hollywood and make TV shows. And then some friends of mine from WSU did it, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. And after moving to Southern California and having an opportunity to work on a bunch of shows, create a bunch of shows, work with the likes of Jordan Peele and Howie Mandel and Tracy Morgan and Betty White, why not you? If someone's got to do it, why not you?
Congratulations, Scott, and please join us on stage.
Later's at. Thank you all. This is really cool. I'm absolutely blown away. Thanks to Dean Bruce and the Murrow Professional Advisory Board, the HOA Committee, and the Murrow students and staff who made this all possible. And congrats to my fellow HOA nominees and inductees. It's an honor to be included in your company. It really is. Wow. Growing up, I did not think that things like this happened to farm boys from Washington State. When I was a senior at Tumwater High School, I don't know how, but I knew I had to go to WSU. In fact, it was the only school I applied to. Like Marty, I'd never even visited before. And I just showed up in the fall of 1987 and said, okay, now what? When I got here, Cable 8 was just starting up, and more importantly for me, Live at 8 was just starting up. And as many of you may know, Live at 8 was our live half-hour sketch comedy show that was completely student-run. We did everything. We hung the lights, we directed it, ran the audio, we acted in it. It was such great experience. And I jumped in my freshman year with both feet, first as a writer-performer, then as a head writer, eventually as a producer. And in our second year, Live at 8 ended up being syndicated to other colleges nationally on national college television. And when I produced the show in the fall of 1990, we celebrated our 100th episode, and we actually won a college Emmy Award. I moved to Los Angeles with some fellow Cougs after graduation in the spring of 1991, and that was a big leap. As luck would have it, one friend from Live at 8, who had moved down before us, Tina Keller, was doing so well at her job that they wanted to meet some of her other Cougar pals. So they ended up hiring Terrence Brown, Mike Southworth, and me to write and produce Fred Rogan's nationally syndicated Rogan's Heroes, which was a comedy clip show. Eventually, I got to co-create and produce my own show for the Syfy channel called Scare Tactics. Scare Tactics is a hidden camera show where friends set each other up for big, scary pranks. We used to say that Boo is one of the oldest tricks in the book. Scare Tactics was basically Boo with a budget. Actually, the first 3 seasons of Scare Tactics, as Joey was mentioning, it felt a lot like a student production because we hired a lot of Cougs, and that's a good thing. We did 6 seasons and 119 episodes of Scare Tactics. They were hosted by the likes of Shannon Doherty, Stephen Baldwin, Tracy Morgan. And last year, I brought Scare Tactics back for 10 new episodes with Academy Award winner Jordan Peele and Universal Television. I also had the opportunity to create and produce a prank show for NBC called Howie Do It with one of my comedy idols, Howie Mandel. And I ran another NBC prank show with the legendary Betty White called Off Their Rockers. Which brings us to today. When my WSU pal, Scott Vick, reached out and said he wanted to submit me for the HOA, I was blown away, I was honored, and I also thought, there is no way they're going to induct a guy who pranks people for a living into the Murrow Hall of Achievement. There's no way. A couple weeks later, I got the acceptance letter from Dean Bruce saying, congratulations on your acceptance into the Murrow Hall of Achievement. The induction ceremony will be April 1st. Right. Well, this is a prank. It's a very, very good one. You've gone to a lot of trouble. I really hope no one says just kidding. No? Since arriving at WSU in the fall of 1987, I feel like I've had the opportunity to live a dream. I met my wife, Nicole, here. I want to thank her and my daughters for their, Allie and Tessa, who are also here, for their unconditional love and support. I also want to thank the rest of my family for their love and encouragement over the years. My mom and sister, Lynn and Victoria, are here. My brother Brad and my dad, Bill, who would have loved this. I also want to thank some of the Murrow family from my WSU days who really helped me more than they know. I want to thank Glenn Johnson, Neil Robeson, Guy Euchert, Richard Tafflinger, Brian Murray, Val Lindbergh, and Alex Tan. The philosopher Seneca said, "Luck is when preparation meets opportunity." The preparation available to us here at WSU is second to none. And Murrow grads tend to be some of the luckiest people in the world because we are the most prepared when we get our opportunities. So as it turns out, living your dreams in the entertainment world is something that can happen to farm boys and girls from Washington State. Thank you for the preparation here at WSU. Thank you for this incredible honor. This is still happening, right? Yeah? Okay. And finally, go Cougs.
Cougs hiring Cougs, that's a very good thing. So thank you for that too, Scott.